We played Fnatic. I don't really think they won the game, but rather we lost it.
He's got one, he's got two, Hooney's got two of his own. A flash from Steelback, and Fnatic get themselves an ace. They want to take SK's reign over the European LCS away, and they've done it.
They will be back and they will be really eager to win against us.
I think we are a team that learns from our mistakes and why we lost the game. I think we already know.
They're really eager to keep their #1 spot.
SK can be more motivated for the winning on versus us. People are saying you have to win this game, you have to perform well. We have much more pressure facing SK.
So I really hope that we'll be the team that the people want to see.
It is Fnatic versus SK, the leaders of the European LCS.
Welcome to the League of Legends Championship Series Week 7. We're coming to you live from our studio in Berlin, Germany, where things are getting underway. We are ready for Week 7, and the fans are definitely hyped and ready for Week 7 as well, entering the building there. Absolutely pumped up to see all the action here today. And as I said, we are also ready. There you see the Fisho and Pyro at the Telestrator. Fisho is pointing at a lot of things. He's definitely on point. They're the Giants entering the building. Serious faces, they need to win their game versus MYM, which is also the first game of the day today. They know that it's a must-win. Lozark, their coach, realizes that as well. And then Yamato Cannon of MYM talking a little bit to Horo, getting his troops fired up. Mr. Ralls as well. A must-win for them versus Giants in that first game of the day. I'm Evie Shock supporter, joined at the analyst desk by my beloved colleague, Trevor Quickshot Henry, and our guests for the week, jungler for Origine Gaming, Maurice Amazing Stücken Schneider, and sitting in with us is coach for Gambit Gaming, Leviathan. Welcome.
I love League of Legends.
Yeah, we all do, and that's why we're here. And with just 3 weeks left until the spring playoffs, let's bring up the standings. The big story is, of course, at the top of the tables, where Fnatic and SK are tied for first place. In third and fourth, separated by just one game, are H2K and Gambit. And just behind them are the Copenhagen Wolves and the Unicorns of Love, who are the teams to beat for squads looking to snag a last-minute spot in the playoffs. Amazing. You were here a couple of weeks ago, and things got pretty crazy in the European LCS. What was maybe the thing you least expected looking at those standings now?
What I definitely least expected was Rocket not getting out of that hole. Rocket has been a team that has been performing in scrims, and we've all talked about that a couple of times already, but they've never lived up to the hype on the stage, and that's surprising to me because I still respect a lot of the players, and I hope for them to get through this phase.
I think Elements underperforming has been the biggest thing for me this season. You look at that roster, and there's just so much talent, and it's not a roster that deserves to go 5-7, I believe. So something going on there, but yeah, that's the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Coming up in just a few minutes, Meet Your Makers will face Giants, but with so many decisive matches on the slate today, let's take a closer look at each of the games, starting with H2K versus Gambit. They are the hot teams right now on winning streaks, and well, if Gambit wins, they will tie third place. H2K can tie for second place. Leviathan, you're here, of course. It's a great matchup, the second one of the day. In my opinion, I think H2K might break your winning streak and win because they're the kind of team that when they get a lead early, they drive it home, and you guys sometimes are indecisive.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. We've studied H2K and studied our own play style, and we have something ready for today. It's not too spicy. It's not anything that's going to be changing it up too much, but it's definitely something we've prepared, and I'm aware of the points you mentioned going into today's match.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it personally. This is actually my most anticipated game of the day because what Leviathan has done with Gambit, what Prolly's done with H2K and the players, they've both become the third best teams in the league, and this game will determine who actually owns that title. You look at the multiple weeks of play, and these are the two teams that are on fire, a 6-game winning streak, a 7-game winning streak. They've grown, they've learned, they've adapted, and nobody else in the league can claim that.
Yeah, I'd also like to touch in on, because we won the first game, even though we would have a tied record, we would own the tiebreaker with the 2-0 series lead. So yeah, we would have the third place.
Yeah, we'll see who will be on fire and which flame will fizzle. The next game I want to talk about is the Copenhagen Wolves versus Elements. Elements, they can tie the Copenhagen Wolves with a win, and Copenhagen Wolves could climb as high as 4th today. Amazing. With your history with the Copenhagen Wolves, they've really stepped up in the last couple of weeks. Yet last week, a dip, an 0-2 week for them. Do you feel like this trend will continue?
I definitely think that the positive trend continues that was shown before the 0-2 week, because every one of the players seems so confident in their role. as the supporting cast, which is Youngbuck, Unlimited, and Airwax. They support their carries so well, and their carries actually play to carry. They try to be aggressive, try to force plays around them, and basically try to get ahead. And that's a playstyle that Elements has yet to show.
And something about these two teams as well, whereas with H2K Gambit, they're fighting for who's the best of the consistent teams. These are two teams that have faltered. Elements have been very shaky the entire split. Copenhagen Wolves, very bad at the beginning, very good at the middle, fell last week. I think they both have to step up and show what their real potential max level is.
All right, we'll see in that matchup. Another one we've got here today is SK versus Fnatic. El Clasico once again. This time, it's a battle for first place. Fnatic currently holds the head-to-head. Of course, we all remember that game last time round. So, Leviathan, maybe the question for you. Elements was not able to beat SK last week, and SK looked fantastic. Was that only because Elements failed to capitalize on what we had discovered were SK's weaknesses?
I think this game is going to be, how do I say? I think both SK and Fnatic play a one-dimensional game, or at least they have one style or strategy that's way better than anything else they can play. So I think it's going to be up to the teams to figure out how much should we adapt, how much should we stick to our style, and really, how do I say it? One team has to shut down the other team, and it's going to, I think, be a lopsided win either way, depending on who shuts down who.
Is this one-dimensional playstyle enough for either Fnatic or SK to become the champions this split?
No, you can't only have one style. You have to be a flexible team. You have to know when sieging style teams are good, when teamfight teams are good, when poking's good. They're all strong in almost every meta, and there's always going to be one thing that you're best at. But if one team figures out what ideal strategy is against that, you're not going to be able to win the game.
All right, the next matchup we're taking a look at is Roccat versus the Unicorns of Love. The Unicorns of Love, they need to win the Secure playoff spot. They are currently tied for 5th with Elements close behind. And Roccat, they just need wins to avoid relegation. We touched on it beforehand already about Roccat. That hasn't lived up to the hype at all. But the Unicorns of Love, you know, I was a believer, but I'm not that much of a believer anymore. Amazing. What do you think of their playstyle, as they are so incredibly inconsistent?
The thing is that they always come into the week with good practice, apparently with good preparation. They become this hero team that just beats everyone. And then the second day of the week, I don't know what happens, but maybe they get bad sleep, whatever it is. But they just fall down to a really, really low level. And I don't know what the issue is, because quite frankly, they show the potential, but then they show the bottom potential too. Because like basically they have a really high ceiling, but they have a really, really low floor.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. And something that both of these teams are fighting is all of the hype from the respective fan bases. Roccat has consistently been praised by the pro teams in scrims, by coaches, but they failed to deliver. And the Unicorns of Love have been consistently hyped by the fan base and the viewers at home, and they've been inconsistent to deliver. So it's very interesting to see these different hype battles from different directions, and we'll see whether or not either team gets affected by it.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add. I think if Unicorns Love get off to a strong early game, I notice their shot calling and just map control when they have a lead is something I respect. I don't know too much about Unicorns of Love, but I think, yeah, whoever gets the lead in this game is going to be an important factor.
All right, and while the Unicorns of Love got beaten by MYM actually last week, and they are up against Giants in this one, MYM, they need to catch Giants in the standings to avoid 10th place, because that's the discussion we're going on right now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, this is the opening game of the day, and Meteor Makers and Giants all the way down at the bottom. You're looking at records of 2-10 for MYM, 4-8 for Giants. If MYM pick up another victory, they close the game to 1 distance, which means they're actually in touching distance of avoiding that automatic relegation. Surprise win for MYM over Unicorns last week. Nobody expected that. If either of these teams pick up one more surprise win over the next 2 weeks, they might avoid automatically dropping to the Challenger Series.
Yeah, we will see how that plays out for them. That is the first game of the day. Let's look to the future and see how the standings translate into the postseason. Teams from 1st to 6th place will move on to the spring playoffs. The 7th place team will qualify for the summer split automatically, while teams in 8th and 9th will have to defend their LCS spot in the summer promotion tournament. Now, whoever ends up in the 10th place spot will be automatically relegated to the Challenger Series to be replaced in the summer split by the top Challengers team from the spring. The top Challenger team from the spring. Amazing. Who could that possibly be?
I may know him, I may not, but like we're doing pretty well, so I think we have a pretty good shot at being that, but we'll see.
Still undefeated, but
yeah. we're doing all right.
All right, you're doing all right. We'll see how it progresses. And yesterday, the details about the upcoming mid-season Invitational were revealed. The Invitational will bring League of Legends action to the east coast of the United States when it kicks off in Tallahassee, Florida on May 7th through May 10th. And it will take place at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center on the campus of Florida State University. The event will bring together the top 6 pro teams from around the world to fight for regional pride. The leagues competing in the tournament will be the North American and European LCS, the LCK, the LPL, the LMS, and the winner of the International Wildcard Invitational, which will happen next month in Turkey. Tickets will be available soon, so keep your eye on LLEsports.com to find out how you can join us. Now turning back to today's games and with the playoffs in mind, we want to hear from you. Get on Twitter and tell us which team do you think will jump into one of the 6 playoff spots and why. Leviathan, you're going to say Gambit anyway, so amazing. What do you think?
All right, let's make a list. I think it's gonna be Gambit definitely. I think HTK will make the race. I think that like obviously the top 2 teams, which are SK and Fnatic right now, will still be in there. But like the 5th and 6th place is basically the most interesting stuff because like it could be CW, it could be basically everyone. Besides, I think MOM is already out of the race. But like every one of those teams has the potential to be there. Especially Rocket again. Like I'm gonna mention Rocket again. Where I'm a big fan of them, and I think like if they at some point put it together, they can be there. So the room is still open. Like there's still a lot of place to be made, basically.
Yeah, I think the Copenhagen Wolves have a spot as long as they keep improving at the pace they're at. And yeah, it's really just a matter of Rocket wakes up or not. If Rocket just starts performing like how I guess everyone expects them to perform, then they should have a playoff spot. But I don't know, they got to stop losing games.
Look at all of that hype and expectation failing to deliver.
We're there again.
Yeah, at what point do you stop expecting, right? Tweet your answers to @LLEsports and be sure to include the hashtag LCS so we can check out some of your responses later today. And with the stage set, it's time to kick off Week 7 of the Spring Split. So let's send it over